With the Yankees off-season coming to a close, it's becoming more and more apparent this season is going to be determined by the fate of one man. What's going on, guys? It's the King of 161st Street. I'm back with another video, and at this point in the off-season, we're all just looking at who's going to be the top of the AL, who's going to make the postseason, who are the contenders, who are the pretenders. And a lot of people are talking about the Yankees in a way like they traded for a lot of good offensive pieces. They didn't do enough pitching-wise to really be considered head and shoulders above the American League. It's weird because the one team ahead of them in a lot of people's eyes is the Baltimore Orioles. Now, when you compare the Baltimore Orioles rotation to the Yankees rotation, you're going to see some very big similarities. And one big thing that's going to be different is the fact that they don't have a true ace. The Yankees have a true ace, but not just that. The similarities come with the 2 through 5, because guys like Kyle Bradish, Kyle Gibson, like these guys are not true good pitchers. They're very good journeymen, right? They play on a bunch of teams. They get small deals here and there. None of them are actually that good. And the big similarity between these teams, they're number 2, especially for the Yankees number 2, and the guy who the Baltimore Orioles want to be their number 1 had very bad seasons last year. Of course, I'm talking about Carlos Rodon and Grayson Rodriguez. Now, when I say the Yankees season falls on one person, this Yankees season falls on Carlos Rodon. Because barring the Yankees going out and getting Snell, which is still possible because he hasn't gotten any more offers, Carlos Rodon is going to be the number 2. And what's one thing that was missing last year? We didn't have a number 2 that could really give us a punch. Carlos Rodon was a guy who was very injury riddled and gave us a 6 ERA, a terrible whip. It was not a good year for him. Very injury riddled, couldn't really get a rhythm. A lot of projections for this upcoming season have Carlos Rodon pitching to a 3.8 type level, coming down a lot from last year in terms of like, that's not the pitcher he was, right? How he was when he was injured, that was not the type of pitcher Carlos Rodon is. We're going to need something better than these projections, because the projections give you from 3.8 to 4.1. We're going to need what Carlos Rodon did in 2021, back when he earned himself 9 figures. This man needs to put the team on his back, essentially, because we know Gerrit Cole is going to be doing his job. We know Marcus Stroman is consistently middle of the pack, 3.8, 3.9 in 150 innings. He's a guy who can eat up innings and do a pretty good job. The Yankees need a hard punch in that second spot to almost guarantee us 2 wins out of a 5-man rotation. That's the difference. And the reason why I bring up Baltimore is because when people bring up the best team, if Carlos Rodon pitches the way he did in 2021, the Yankees are the best team in the American League. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The Yankees could be the best team in the American League if Carlos Rodon pitches to 2021 San Francisco Giants Rodon. Now, if he pitches worse than projections, he pitches to like a 4.5, then yeah, Baltimore might be ahead of us. Because a lot of people are projecting Grayson Rodriguez to have a bounce back season. It was his rookie year, gave up a fuck ton of walks. You would expect him to grow and figure out the system, but something people do not understand. Potential is never linear. It's the 2K mindset. And if you don't know what 2K is, NBA 2K is a video game. There's a My League mode. At the end of the season, you get overall boosts. The 2K mindset is, okay, so when they're young, they're automatically going to get an overall boost. No matter what you do with them, they're going to get an overall boost every season until they hit like 30, then it starts to go down. It's a very linear graph. It goes up, then it goes down. Potential in the real world does not work that way. At times, it stays stagnant, up, down, up, down. It never goes linear. Second-year players tend to always struggle. What is it about Grayson Rodriguez that makes him different than other second-year pitchers? Is it the fact that he got his struggles out of the way? Because yeah, I'm saying I think Grayson Rodriguez is a good pitcher. Highly touted prospect, probably is going to succeed in the league at some point. It's almost like people are guaranteeing him to turn into a number 1 or number 2 by next year. I did not see any evidence of him having number 1, number 2 by next year type potential. And let's say you do agree with that, right? You agree that Grayson Rodriguez will be that type of guy. Who's to say a guy that was in those discussions in 2021 can't go back to that? If we're going to say that Grayson Rodriguez is going to have a resurgence type of year, Carlos Rodon can be predicted to have a resurgence type of year, because Grayson Rodriguez didn't even have injuries to fall back on. Carlos Rodon does. His elbow was fucked up to start the season. He didn't have a spring training. He missed part of the start of the year. He missed time during the middle of the year. He was stagnant in the rotation at best. Grayson Rodriguez pitched almost 40 starts with that 4.5 ERA. He was not good. Over 200 walks. That's crazy. So if Carlos Rodon does have this resurgence, the Yankees, to me, are head and shoulders above the pack, even with a Baltimore Orioles team that is coming up, even with a Houston Astros team that is still put together, even with the Dodgers getting their pieces. I think we could still be contenders to win it all. This season, squarely on the shoulders of Carlos Rodon, unless the Yankees make other moves, which it almost looks like they're not. Signs are pointing to them more looking at the bullpen, guys like Hector Neris. If they do end up with Blake Snell, this conversation changes entirely. If it doesn't, like it seems like right now, Carlos Rodon is the X factor. He is the key. The fate of this team is on Carlos Rodon's shoulder. What do you think about this? Do you think I'm overblowing the impact of Carlos Rodon? Let me know down below. If you're new here, hit that sub button. Like the video if you enjoyed. And I'm out of here. Take care and peace.